even though we had this game working a year ago or so, we're basically looking at a start from scratch dead game just because we don't know why it's not starting up, and we don't know exactly what's wrong with it. So what we do in this situation, or if you find yourself in this situation, is you want to always start at power. You have to have power coming in the game, and none of this is going to work if it's not getting power. So as soon as you find out what's not getting power, you start figuring out what your problem is. So that's where I started.
So he's like thinking of a way out of it, and then he's like, "No, I'll go get it."
You got to check out this guy, Matimo. Yeah, Matimo's Arcade.
I don't know enough about his methods. I would love to talk to him one day.
Power starts to come in here. This is where the power cord comes into the game, wraps around here. We were talking about this earlier. And so I checked my voltage here, and it was fine. Hits the power switch pretty much right after that inline filter. It's okay, Willow. I'm not yelling at you. So what I needed to do was figure out if the power switch was working, because I wasn't getting any action by turning it on and off. So first thing is first is need to test that power switch. So I hooked it up to the meter here, and I'm going to set it on continuity. And now I have my leads on either side. So when I turn the power switch on, if it works, it'll beep. Maybe my leads aren't on here the best. Because I have a feeling it works. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so it's good. So we can wire it back into. These two blue wires here actually went to the power switch, which is down here. So I spliced those together because the power switch wasn't the problem. You can see it comes down through here. We did have a fuse holder problem, which I took care of with just a little breadboard or whatever you want to call it. Now I know that I have power up to the power switch. So the next thing I'm going to start looking at is, I didn't know offhand what our voltages were going to be, or the pinouts were of these transformers. So that's why I just started checking voltages with what I did know. But next would be going around the corner there, would be right on the outside of both transformers is the big 4-banger fuse block there. And whoop, I did pick up a replacement for that, so we're just going to go ahead and replace that. I have my little makeshift prototype board there, which worked, so it's good. You may recognize this board that's in here. I steal these every time I see them available. That's basically what I started my test rig with, or my test bench, workbench, whatever you want to call it. It's got like everything you need pretty much all right there, and extra, because you don't need all that 7 volts and all that. But so there we go. Our next thing was the fuse block. So I have that. We'll change that. And there's actually, I don't know if we can see it from here, one of these little red wires that's right here has come off. And I do believe that's one of our voltages to the board. So that is going to need to be done. Our edge connector is going to need to be done. And then once we got there and I changed that, and I knew that our fuse block was bad, I put this guy on there and I tried again. Still wasn't getting anything. And that's whenever I was like, okay, is there a second power switch? Is there another, an interlock switch that's not plugged in? And that's when I found the blue wires. Here it is. It's way down here. So this here was cut. This went around over here and then was on an interlock switch. So it had to make a connection before the game would come on there. So we kind of had two safeties. We had one at the switch here, and then an interlock switch there that no longer existed. So it wouldn't come on without at least shorting it. So I got that sealed up. Bound them up and then put some heat shrink on it, and kapow! I turned it on, and basically I just saw some lights on, so I knew there was some power. So I ran around the game, and the monitor was on, but we didn't have a game. It was just a blue screen. So that's where we are, and that's gonna get us caught up. And I didn't want to skip over anything in case anybody's in the same situation. Next, since we need to do this harness, and there's a lot of little wiring we need to do and clean all this up on the inside, I do just want to make sure that the monitor is good to go. So I want to hook the TPG up to it, see if we can get a good stable image. I know last year when we were working on this, it was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So let's hook that up and see if we can get a good image. If that's the case, then we're much farther than I thought. Then we just I have 10 of these Pacman boards, so we just got to play musical chairs until we can get a set that works. And then if not, we're just gonna have to fix some boards, I guess. But give me a second, let's check this monitor. Here's what we got so far. So at least I am getting a picture. I can get it to slow down a little bit. I'll show you in a second, but I do want to show you guys. I have cap kits and stuff ready to go. Not for every monitor, but I think I have 4 or 5 or 6 monitors ready to go. They're labeled, which I'm not the first to do it, but it is amazing to work with labeled kits, so I am going to continue to do that myself. So stop by the website, which I'll put, the link will be down below. It's easier in the description. But yeah, come by and pick up some parts. I'm also writing a blog, basically, of all my notes on each monitor, and I've started with the K7000, and next is the G07, which I have a little bit started on it as well. So if you needed any extra advice that we didn't cover in this, maybe you can get it there. And always check back, because I am going to continually add to it. But let me show you what we got going on here. Pretty ugly. And I can get it to slow down pretty good, just not all the way. Oh. And I think I've tried every combination of wires on the TPG. I am going to try one more set. Oh, see how it's so close. But it won't stay still anyway. What's next here? Let me check what's next. Probably would be good to start with this monitor, and then we'll get into the cabinet stuff after that. We can make sure this monitor is good to go. I have all the parts on hand, having my own parts store now, which is fantastic. Don't have every part available for everybody yet. It's having a hard time getting it on the website. I'm trying to learn how to do it. But I want to go over this. I remember there were some caps that I didn't have. I think there were even some pot sizes that I didn't have. So it's possible that a wrong size pot is causing this. We'll need to go over all these solder points where these pots are soldered in here at the chassis. That could easily do it. So many things, so many things. Here's our original video signal. So I was kind of trying to mimic this and get the video set up, but really didn't matter where I put these 2 sync wires. It'll just kind of sync but not get there. So we will start on that next, and then get this wiring done. The first part I want to do on the wiring is obviously get the fuse kit here in the bottom. We'll get that squared away and get all this wiring squared away, and then we will come over here to this edge connector here. And I have new edge connectors, and we'll just do a bang up job on it. And we'll get one that has one solid connector all the way across. You try to slide this one on and then this one on, and then they both push away from each other. So that wasn't going to work. And we need to verify that all of our wires are in the appropriate places. I think we did see this game work. It just wouldn't sync for us, so I think we're farther along than I think we are. just this scrolling monitor has been giving us a problem for a while. It's always something. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. So these two right here are going to be ground and 5 volt. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is, a nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted, I got what I wanted, and a pretty good deal on it too. Super hang on.
Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.